This one freaking creaks. Okay, I think we're good. Hey guys, it is Jenna, what is up, and welcome back to another board game video. Alrighty, yo. Hey guys, it is Jenna, what is up, and welcome back to another board game video. Boom. Today, we are going to be talking about all of the games that I played in April of 2022, which we had a decent month. I feel like I didn't get a ton of board games played, but it made me really happy because we played with a lot of different people. We played with some new friends, we played with some old friends, we played with both of our parents at the same time. We had like a big board game day with Francis's parents and my parents. It was a lot of fun. And then I played with some of my siblings, my sister Alicia and her husband, so that was fun. They have 2 children, so it's a little bit difficult for them to make the time to have board game nights, but we had one night when the kids went to bed and it was a lot of fun. And Francis and I played a good amount of board games together. Unfortunately, like, we don't play a lot of games during the week. If I ever want to play a game during the week, I typically play like shorter games, or I play just like a solo game myself, which are usually roll and writes. I really love to play solo roll and writes, but yes, and then we play a lot on the weekends. So anyways, let's get into this. I do also want to mention that Francis and I have started live streaming over on Twitch, which I am very excited. We did our first live stream last week, and I'm actually filming today, which is Tuesday, and we are streaming tonight again. So if you guys want to come and hang out with Francis and I while we play a board game, go over and head to my Twitch, which is JennaRoseStreams, and we will be live streaming every Tuesday, hopefully, and then I might start doing like a solo Sunday where I do a solo game on a Sunday morning, which I think will be a lot of fun. So yes, I'd appreciate it very much if you came and checked it out, hung out with us. I'm just excited to continue streaming and see where it goes, and I'm just having a lot of fun with it right now. So yes, I will have that link down below. But anyways, let's get right into the stats for the month. So in April, overall, we played 28 times, which I know does not sound like a lot. I think I had a goal of playing 30 times because in March we had 23 plays. February we only had 15, and then January we had 25. So honestly, April has been our best month to date, which makes me very happy. And we played a total of 18 different games, and 10 of those were new to us, which I think when I started this app, I didn't, because like before I would use Board Game Geek, but I didn't ever put in like the plays that we did. And when I started the BG stats at the beginning of 2022, that's kind of where we started fresh. So if it ever says new to me, it's typically, yes, we've purchased a few that were new to us, but most of them are just games that we haven't played yet in 2022. So 10 of the 28 were new to us, so that is awesome. And for the ones that I've like chatted about before, if you hear any of these games and you're interested in knowing more about them, these ones are the ones that I've already chatted about in past like monthly overview videos. So the first one is Just One, an amazing party game. Love it. We played that with our parents as well as, I believe, our friends Tom and Asha. And then we also played Paperback with our parents, and I think it was Francis's parents as well. They've been really liking Paperback. It's a great like deck building spelling game, super fun. We also played Dinosaur Island Roar and Write, which I believe that was when I played it solo. I've played it a few times solo. We played Dog Lover again, which is an amazing little card game. I definitely recommend. I love that one, especially if you're a dog lover. But if you are a cat person, they do have a cat version as well called Cat Lady. We played Fleet the Dice Game, which I've chatted about before. We played that with our friends Joy and Caleb, which they came over for a board game night. It was a lot of fun, and we're hoping to get them more into board games. I believe actually the day after we had a board game night, they went and bought Fleet the Dice Game themselves, which makes me very happy. And then I think the only other one that I've chatted about before is Miyabi, which I did actually take it out, but if you guys have watched a few of my board game videos already, you know that I've chatted about this game a lot. But Miyabi is honestly one of my favorite games. I love this game so much. We played this again with Joy and Caleb, and it was a lot of fun. It is a like multi-layered tile placing game where you are layering different items in a Zen garden and getting points in different ways. So absolutely love Miyabi. I've talked about it many times, so I'm not going to get into it, but that is a good one, and we played that again, like I said, with our friends Joy and Caleb. And then the rest of them are all new ones that I'm going to be chatting about. So let's get into all of those. First one, this one is going to be, I actually think I might have chatted about this one a while back in a video, but this is Decrypto, which is a amazing team party game. We played this with our parents, which Francis was on a team with his parents and I was on a team with my parents. And this one, like I said, it's a little bit hard to explain, but each group or each team has 4 words that only they can see. And basically each person has a turn where they are trying to get their teammates to guess a combination of 3 numbers. So for example, if your number 1 word was computer, your number 3 word was butter, and your number 2 word was table, you would try to guess or try to get your teammates to guess 1, 3, 2 by giving them different clues for the number 1 word, the number 3 word, and the number 2 word. Hopefully that makes sense. And then eventually the opposite team can interfere and try to guess it themselves before your teammate does. And the first group to either get miscommunication, which means your teammates got it wrong. If you get 2 of those, you lose. If you get 2 interception tokens, you win. So that means that you guess the opposite team's number combination before they did correctly, you win. Hopefully I explained that correctly. But if you want to know more about Decrypto, I'm sure there are a lot of better explanations, but that was mine. Next up is the game that we played most in April, and we actually just got this in April. It is a new board game, and I will probably be showing this in the next board game video as well, which is going to be a big haul of a bunch of board games that we recently got, but that is Canvas. Now I know why this game has gotten so much hype recently. This is such a spectacular game and such a good game to like introduce people into the hobby. We played this with pretty much every single group that we played with in April. We played it with Francis' parents, we played it with our friends Tom and Asha, we played it with my friends Joy and Caleb, we played it with both Francis' parents and my parents. The only people that we didn't play this with, which I think is because we didn't have this at that point, but we didn't play it with my sister Alicia and her husband Matthew. But Canvas is such a good game. It is a game where you are creating 3 paintings, and I guess you're like in a painting competition with your opponents, and whoever can paint the best 3 paintings and get the most points wins. And basically it is a background card that you're layering translucent cards onto. You're layering 3 of them onto the front of the background card, and each of the translucent cards has different icons at the bottom, and you're layering them in a way to get points in the best way possible. And there are a bunch of like scoring conditions, and you can like switch them up. You only have 4 for each game, but they come with a bunch of them that you can switch between, and it's such a good game and so good for new players. Like I said, definitely recommend. We are already considering getting the expansion, which is Reflections, and I'm very excited about that. So that is Canvas, and we played that a lot in April. Next up, we have 2 games in kind of the same line, and they were sent over to me by Underdog Games and Off Duty Ninja, which thank you guys so much. But these are the Trekking the World games, which this is the original Trekking the World here, which I love this game so much, and I feel like it is such a good intro game, which I wasn't expecting. It is, I would say, like a light to light medium weight game, and it is so much fun. Basically, you are traveling the world, you're collecting souvenirs of different colors, as well as going to different destinations. And it really just like gives you that feeling of traveling without actually traveling. And the cards are absolutely gorgeous, and just like going around the map really makes me happy. This was actually the first time that I saw like two different board games meshing together to create this, and that is Ticket to Ride and Parks. I feel like this is a great like in between of those two. It has the map and the collecting of different colored cards like in Ticket to Ride, but then you're also using those cards to go to different destinations and actually get cards that give you victory points like in Parks. So it was really cool to see like kind of a mashup. And there's a little bit of like Catan in there as well with the souvenir cards, that if you have the most of a certain color of souvenir, you get that card that gives you victory points. But if someone passes you, kind of like the longest road in Catan, they take that card from you and they get the victory points unless you can get more than them by the end of the game, which is so cool. And I just thought it was super cool to see like a bunch of different games kind of come together to make this one, and it is so good and I absolutely love it. And I will say that this one could probably take the place of Ticket to Ride in our collection just because it's such a great intro game, but I think we just prefer the theming of this one a little bit more, so that might be happening, but I know that it's good to keep Ticket to Ride in the collection, so we will see. But that is Trekking the World. The second game in this little series is the Trekking the World Trivia, which we ended up playing with both of our parents, and my mom especially absolutely loves trivia games, and this is one that she really loved and we loved as well. I wasn't expecting to love a trivia game as much, but the nice thing about this trivia game is that you don't necessarily need to know all of these facts, but it's whoever gets closest without going over, kind of like Price is Right style. They get the card, and then there is also like bonus questions that are a little bit harder, but they're, you know, decently easy that some people might actually know the answers and get those bonus points. So yes, Trekking the World and Trekking the World Trivia, definitely recommend checking them out. I'm talking too fast. Next up is a classic, and Francis and I have had this one quite a long time, but it's been a while since we played it, and I forgot how much I love this game. We played best 2 out of 3. I feel like that's what we do pretty often, and that is Santorini. Santorini is such a good 2-player game, like a head-to-head 2-player game. You can play it with 4 players, but I don't really recommend. I don't think I've actually ever played Santorini with 3 or 4 players. It's always just been a 2-player game for us, and I love this so much. It has my favorite character art. The cards are so cute. Like, these characters, you get some asymmetric powers by picking a god for each person, and they can do like special things. So yes, I absolutely love the characters. I love the gameplay. It's almost chess-like, where you're kind of doing a move and then the other person does a move and you're kind of going back and forth, and you're trying to get to the top of one of the buildings before the other player puts a dome on top. So super fun. It's a classic, and I forgot how much I loved Santorini. Another classic that, I'm gonna be honest, was on its way out the door until we played it with my sister and her husband, and that is King of Tokyo, which this one, I for some reason saw it on our shelf and I'm like, I don't like that game. But then we played it and I was like, no, I like that game. That is such a good game. It's a very like Yahtzee style game where you have a character, you have health, and you can roll die and then collect whatever ones you want to keep, roll the remaining ones until you have a set of die that you want to use. You can bite different players or like attack different players. You can get health, you can get energy, which allow you to buy different player or like power cards, I guess. And you can go into the middle of the player board and you are the King of Tokyo for that time. And basically when you're King of Tokyo in the middle, you are attacking everybody, but they are all attacking you. So you want to stay in the middle to be able to attack everybody and get points, but then you don't want to stay there too long or you're going to die. So yes, it's a super fun one, and whoever gets to 20 victory points wins. So super fun. I'll show you guys the back. I always forget to do that, but I feel like it's really helpful to see the back. But you have a bunch of different die. You have the attack die, the health die, the energy die, and you have 1, 2, and 3. That's your way of getting victory points. But yeah, King of Tokyo is great. I don't know why I ever thought that I didn't like it. So next up is a party game that we actually ended up playing with chat on our live stream last week, and I feel like this is going to be one that we're going to be getting out quite a bit to play with our Twitch chat, and that is Concept. Concept is such a fun game. We've always loved this game. It's funny because even before I got into board games with Francis, this was a game that I played with my mom's side of the family at Christmas, and I always remembered playing it at Christmas, and it was just so much fun to like play in big teams against each other. But yeah, we finally got it once Francis and I were into board games, and it's such a good one, and it's great to play with chat. If you ever Twitch stream, definitely recommend. Basically, Francis and I would take turns giving clues, and the chat would be guessing, and then whoever got it in chat first would get a point, and I think we went up to whoever got 3 points first won. So that's going to be a fun one to like continue playing on chat during our streams. Next up is another game that we played with my sister and her husband, and that is Clank, which Clank is such a good game. Oh, I keep on saying that in this video, but truly all the games that we've played this month are all such good games. But Clank is a classic. It is a great deck builder, but it has a little bit more to the game than just deck building. I love deck building, but it has to be paired with other things. So this one is great because you are deck building, but then you're also like exploring this underground, it's not really a cave, like it's the underground of a castle, I believe, and you're trying to grab a artifact and get the heck out of there before the dragon kills you. So it's a good one, it's a fun time. Basically, when you make clank or make noise, you have to put one of your colored cubes into the bag, and then whenever the dragon attacks, someone pulls a cube out of the bag, or I think they actually pull like multiple cubes out of the bag, and if any of your cubes gets pulled, that's basically you getting hit by the dragon and your health goes down. So it's just fun and like very like nerve-wracking to see what colored cubes get pulled out of the bag. And if you are able to go down, get an artifact, and come back up, typically I don't find my way up, I always lose, but it is always a fun time. So the last two games that I'm going to be chatting about, much like Canvas, were ones that I purchased in April during our no spend, which I know I shouldn't have broke my no spend, but I really didn't want them to sell out. And specifically the one that I'm just about to talk about was one that I've wanted since I started getting into board games back in 2019. I believe this was on Kickstarter and I missed the Kickstarter, and then I think it just recently fulfilled, which took a long time, but I was so happy to see it on Board Game Bliss, which shout out to Board Game Bliss for getting this in. Also, if you guys are looking for a good website to buy board games, if you're in Canada, Board Game Bliss is great, or just look up on Google your friendly local game store. But the game that I'm talking about that I've been waiting for is Seize the Bean, which Seize the Bean, this is just like the 5 to 6 player expansion, but the main game is right here. And this game is all about owning your own coffee shop, which your girl really likes her coffee. Granted, I only have 1 cup a day, which I'm very happy that I stick to that. But it is such a fun board game and it is so cute. The amount of love and just thought that these people from Quality Beast, which this is published by Quality Beast, the amount of thought and love that went into this game is insane. The quality of the components are so good. There's little like coffee bean resources and sugar cubes and little cartons of milk. It is the cutest thing ever. And basically you are serving customers and upgrading your coffee shop, and there's a bunch of different groups of people that you play with. Each game you can only play with 6 groups of people, but I think the base game comes with like 20 to 30 groups of people, so you can kind of mix and match all of the groups of people, which we've only played with like maybe 12 of them, and there's still so many other ones to play with. I haven't even played the solo mode yet, which apparently is also great, but it is such a funny and cute game. I am in love with it. Definitely recommend. It is, I believe, from Germany. It's based off of Berlin coffee shops. So I don't know how easy it is to get here in North America, but if you can get your hands on it, which I actually was talking to Quality Beast, and I think they mentioned that they are doing a retail like rerun or reprinting, so hopefully it'll be more readily available. But oh my goodness, I am obsessed with this board game, and I will shout it from the rooftops. It is so good. It is worker placement, deck building, all the things that I love, and it is just so freaking cute. The cards are hilarious. There are hipsters, and there's like board game lovers, and oh my gosh, like the groups of people are hilarious. Tourists and families and health nuts and like students and tech nerds. It's just the funniest thing ever, and all the groups of people and all of like the upgrades that kind of relate to that group of people. It is just hilarious. I've talked your ear off about Seize the Bean, which I probably should have done that one last, but I just freaking love that game so much. Let me know if you guys want me to do like a full-on video about Seize the Bean, because I would be totally down for that. But yes, that was Seize the Bean. We played that I think 3 times in April, which I feel like is pretty good. And then last but certainly not least, this one is an amazing game as well, and one that I've been wanting for a very long time, but that is Parks, which it's gonna make a lot of folly noises, but Parks is a game, I believe we actually received this on the last day of March, and I think I filmed the March overview, or the games we played in March, like 2 days before March actually ended. So this one technically we did play in March, but then we also played again in April. But Parks is one that I've wanted for a very long time. It is such a good game and such a beautiful game. I was gonna turn it around, but I don't really want to move it because there's just a lot of falling noises. Basically in Parks, you are walking a trail, collecting different resources, and using those resources to go to different national parks or visit national parks. And much like Trekking the World, the cards are so pretty, and it just makes me love the game so much. There's also the cutest resources. There's like little tree resources and animal resources and mountains and sunshine and rain, and it's just so beautiful. So I definitely recommend, if you love this type of theme and you love pretty games, this one is so good. Also, the gameplay is just as good as it looks. So that is Parks. That is the last game. I'm also really excited because they are coming out with the newer expansion. What is it called? Wildlife? I think Wildlife is coming out in summer of 2022, so very soon. There's also a Nightfall expansion, which is already out, and I want to get that as well, so I might get both of them. So those were all of the games that we played in April. It was a really good month, and a lot of like new discoveries, like games that we've had for a really long time that I thought I didn't like, but then they surprised me that I like actually still like them and do like them. And then we got a bunch of new games that some of them, I'm going to admit, are probably some of my new favorites. I'm just absolutely obsessed with so many of these games, but I quickly wanted to go through one thing, actually 2 things. One is my board game 10 by 10, which, if you guys do not know, I have a sticker and planner shop called Planning Roses. We have planners, which this is one of our planners, and then we also make stickers, and I just recently started making a few stickers specifically meant for board gamers, and a few of them are like full page stickers, and this is one of them here that you can get in my shop. I always have it linked down below, but this is a board game 10 by 10, so basically you are playing 10 board games 10 times within a certain amount of time. This is going to be for 2022. And then I also have "and the winner is" down here, so you can put a color for each person, and then whoever wins the game when you play it, you color in the meeple with their colors. So that is mine for now. we have Everdell, Santa Monica, Takanoko, Scythe, Bitoku, Concordia, Parks, Dinosaur Island Run Right, Clank, and Seize the Bean. So these are all games that I want to play at least 10 times in 2022. The only ones that we haven't played at all have been Concordia, Takanoko, and Santa Monica. So hopefully those will be on the list next month for our May overview. Hopefully I can get some people to play those with me. But yeah, I feel like we're doing pretty good. We've played a few of them 3 times, a few of them 2 times, Bitoku once. I need to play Bitoku more. But hopefully we'll be able to get all these done by the end of 2022. Also, we do have this type of sticker as well. Basically, I'm creating my like perfect collection here. So I'm adding games here slowly that I feel are going to be in my collection for a very long time, ones that I absolutely love. So far we have Everdell with the Belfair expansions, we have Bitoku, and we have Wingspan with the Oceania expansion. So I do need to add more to here that I know I absolutely love, like Parks, Seize the Bean, Clank's a good one. Like a lot of the games that I talked about today will most likely be like forever games. But yes, that was that. And then quickly, I want to say what my top 3 games of the month are. So obviously Seize the Bean is one, because you guys know by the way I talked about it, I'm obsessed. Also Parks. Parks has been a new favorite. I think honestly, but Trekking the World is really good too. Ooh, okay. Seize the Bean, Parks, and then I think Trekking the World and Canvas are tied. I don't think I could pick between those two because we played Canvas so many times with so many different people. Everyone loved it. But then Trekking the World I feel like is so good, and I think it was like the biggest surprise of the month because I really, really like that game. So yes, those were my top plays of the month. We also really enjoyed playing Concept with the chat. That was a lot of fun. And Clank was really good too. That's like a solid game that I feel like will be in the collection for a long time. But anyways, I'm going to stop yapping. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing all the games that we played in April. It was such a good board game month and I'm so happy. I'm hoping that May is just as good. Definitely let me know down in the comments what your favorite game of April was. Was there any new ones that you discovered? Was there any old ones that you rediscovered? Let me know down in the comments. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you've yet to do so. There is going to be more board game content this week. I'm going to be doing a big board game haul, which is super exciting. And also go ahead and check out my Twitch. It's just JennaRoseStreams over on Twitch. We're going to be streaming tonight, and then I will most likely be streaming on Sunday as well. So come on over and join me. Come on over. I love you guys so much. Remember, you are somebody's reason to smile, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, friends.